Well, that was interesting. YouTube was giving me an error. Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. It is Friday, April 7th, 2023. We're closing up on the end of the week. Market's kind of, it's a little boring, right? Not a lot going on, but we're still going to cover a few charts, kind of assess what's going on before we go into the weekend. If you appreciate the content and the fact that I'm coming live to you every single weekday, hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, engage. Glad to see you're the first, my brother. Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be going live every single weekday, and I'm going to continue churning out the other TA videos as they come. Something I did want to make you aware of, if you're not following me on YouTube at Crypto Bull God, you should give me a follow. I indicated today, I'm actually really excited about putting this video out. I'm going to put quite a bit of work into formally, I've had a lot of different thoughts in terms of some subjects that I wanted to speak to surrounding banking, the economy, finance, the Federal Reserve, all these things. And I want to actually write out in a more formal sense those thoughts. And I'm thinking a PowerPoint presentation with some graphs and charts and talking points. So I'm really excited about this because as much as my bread and butter is charting, I also love talking about just the economy in general, you know. And the one thing I'm not sure of is if it's going to be a live stream or if it's going to be a published video. That I'm not sure of. Unfortunately, my weekend this weekend is going to get cut short, so I'm not going to have a lot of time to prepare for it this weekend. But I'm still optimistic that next week I'll be able to put in a decent amount of work and get something out to you guys later in the week. A lot of commotion in the comments going on here. What's going on? Happy Friday, Josh. Oh, I did not, Patrick, I did not see the pump on engine. We were just taking a look at it. Let's take a look at it. You know what? Shit, let's take a look at that as the first chart. Why not? Happy Good Friday. You are true. For everybody who celebrates Easter and is Protestant, happy Easter. Coming up here on Sunday, and it is Good Friday to all who celebrate. You know what? With that being said, let's get right into it. My friend Patrick here is saying there was a big pump on engine. Wow, look at the volume coming in there. Nice. What were we up today? 13. How high did we go? Let's get off this. Wow, nice move today. You know, and we just looked at this the other day. I said I have a very smart audience. Patrick was the one who brought this up. This thing was up as much as 20% today. Wow. And what did we do? Patrick, what happened here? Okay. We just talked about this chart the other day. What did I say about it? Were we looking at the 3-day? No, we were looking at the weekly, right? Okay, so yesterday, let's revisit the conversation from yesterday and let's see how things played out in the charts. Remember, one of the things that I spoke to on this chart, I remember this, not a lot of price history, right? So typical moving averages that I like to use are the 50, 100, the 20, and sometimes the 10. 50 and 100, there's not as much price action to meaningfully use the 50 and 200. But the 20, look what happens once we get above this 20 simple moving average. Okay, a little bit of volatility here, but for the most part, once we are at and above the 20 simple moving average, we tend to see a significant rise to the upside. And I said, hey guys, we're sitting right above this 20 simple moving average. So let's maintain a price level right around 3.6 cents all the way up to this 20 simple moving average with candle body closes. And we should see some big moves coming in here. And the price indicators look great. We're starting to get up towards this zero trigger line on the MACD. RSI looks real healthy at 52. Stochastic RSI is crossed up over 72 over 56. But look what happened, Patrick. We hit right up against 4.9 cents. You can clearly see the resistance here, right? Look at everything. Look at all these candles, okay? Whether it's a candle body or it's a candle body wick. You're seeing a lot of resistance here. So no surprise that as price came up here, we got rejected. For shits and giggles, let's look at a smaller time frame. Let's look at a 4-hour. Yeah, look, a wick. We can't get above there. This is going to be a pain point for us, okay? We really want to, great to see the volume come in. When you see a large move up like this, the thing that can give you confidence, volume precedes price, you really want to see the volume pick up. We don't want to see weak volume with these moves. Volume is picking up, all right, Patrick? So if we can get a close, all right, this week, this is what you want to hone in on. The most bullish scenario you could hope for is Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got to close right about 4.9 cents. If you can get a close around 4.9 cents, feeling pretty damn good. But even if we can get somewhere around here, the chances are, even though we'd see maybe a little bit of a correction and a wick down here, chances are there's a real good possibility, especially the larger the candle body is, the larger the green of that body is, there's a high likelihood, in my opinion, that we're going to start to test up into this area more up towards 6 cents. So very nice move on engine. Very nice move on engine. All right. Let's get back to, thanks for bringing that one up. Funding was super negative on engine, might not be done. Yeah, I really don't know too much about engine. I know a little bit, kind of surface level, but great move there. So this is the chart we looked at yesterday. By the way, it is Friday, it is happy hour, and I'm here by myself. Well, I'm not really here by myself. I'm with everybody here, right? These are pretty cool. Somebody turned me on to these. This is a Ranch Rider tequila spritz here. It's just tequila, sparkling water, and real lime. They're very, very tasty. Low calorie, not sugary. I don't like sugary drinks. Very good. Real nice to just sip on. Probably after the live stream, I'm just going to sit outside for a little bit, listen to a podcast or something, and kind of chill outside. So... But anywho, this is what we were looking at yesterday. I looked at 4 scenarios. I told you, to me, this general sort of setup seems the most likely to me. I mean, it's anyone's call, right? I mean, this is just, at the end of the day, this is a guess. Just being in this market for so long, this is just how it feels, okay? Ultimately, what are we most concerned about? We're most concerned if price is going to continue going higher. I have no doubts that price is going to continue ultimately going higher and create higher highs and higher lows on Bitcoin. I'm just taking, honestly, just a guess on what's going to happen here. Gut feel. It's like a gut feel, right? So the general direction I'm expecting is a break to the upside to get people excited. We get maybe up towards we break 30,000, or we're just shy of 30,000. We get a harsh rejection, right? We get a harsh rejection. This area is like a wick. There's like a big wick down here. We kind of go sideways for a little bit, and then we continue moving up and ultimately take out $32,000. I have that zone between like 28.8 and $32,000, okay? This is my guess, but at the end of the day, we're just consolidating up here. If you want to go back to yesterday's live stream, I spoke to all 4 scenarios, but again, at the end of the day, the most important thing to keep in mind, okay? Most important thing to keep in mind is that, we got our low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high. So just keep that perspective in mind to keep yourself grounded. Now, what I want to do is I actually want to take a look at some higher time frames and kind of assess going into the weekend where we're at to sort of level set expectations going into this month. So this is a zone I spoke about. Let's actually go, we haven't looked at this in a while. Let's look at a quarterly chart, right? One of the nice views to take a look at is a 3-month chart. I mean, it's kind of intuitive just because it's very common to split things into quarters, right? Financial statements, etc. Look at this beautiful uptrend here, right? So this chart clearly lays out to you, you can really appreciate in a simplistic view here where our pain points are going to be at, where points of resistance are going to be at. The other thing this chart should really demonstrate to you, right, when you just look at this, look how quickly we moved up here in 2020 going into 2021, okay? In 2 quarters, we went from 10,000 all the way up to 60,000, right? We pulled a 6x. My question for everyone is, just putting aside the logic that I demonstrated within that Elliott wave analysis and looking at fib extensions and all the stuff that I've already spoken to in the past, and why I've given this range of, I think, 110 to 140 for Bitcoin topping out. I think it was 110 to 140. I have to go back to double check, but I'm pretty sure. why, just looking at this chart, is it so hard to fathom that we could see 2 quarters that look relative to this? Why is that so hard to fathom? Well, I don't understand. And I think this sort of falls back on the idea that I shared with you guys yesterday about market psychology. If you guys want to read the doomsday prophets and you think, the world's going to hell in a handbasket and the market's going to crash this year, I mean, you're more than welcome to be the herd. And you're more than welcome to be part of the 99% that believe the news headlines. But I refuse to be that way. And based on everything I've shared with you, this thing is setting up beautifully for a large run this year. And we'll have to see how high we ultimately go. But, this is really the next zone I want to get in that I spoke to. I really want Bitcoin to get a monthly close right up in between. I want it to be over 31,800, but right between 37.5 and 31.8. If we can get a nice thick, I don't know what I'm talking about here, nice thick green candle to come right up here. The next month, maybe we get a volatility wick. We test back down to these levels, but we ultimately then close up here. We're creating these stair steps up, right? These stair steps up, all right? So that's what to watch for on the Bitcoin monthly. Now, this is the total cryptocurrency. Oh, I forgot to start up my timer here, trying to time the videos here to try to keep myself on track because I have a tendency to get a little wordy. I love this chart setup. If you showed this to me and you said you just remove the fact that this is the total cryptocurrency market cap and this is on a monthly, beautiful chart setup. The thing that I'm demonstrating here, this wick, we couldn't support price levels up here. Major seller exhaustion right in this green zone. We literally just back tested the top of it as support, okay? We're also in a very large falling wedge, okay? We're in this large falling wedge. And the other thing I'd like to point out, we broke out of the falling wedge, we've back tested the falling wedge, and now we're hitting up against resistance at this 1.18 trillion. If we look at our price indicators, the other really encouraging thing, we're gonna have to see how April prints, take a look at this MACD. That is one sexy looking MACD, all right? I like to get in things before the majority realizes it's sexy. It looks sexy to me now before it turns green. All right. So this is flattening out. This was coming down real hard. Look at the histogram. Look at the volume. The volume has petered out. Now we're starting to round out and we're going to curl up. I think it is entirely possible, and we're near the zero trigger line. We'll have to, I don't know that I'm going to recall to come back to this video, but we'll come back to this chart. And I would be willing to bet that if we get as much bullish momentum as I'm anticipating in April and May, I think by June, we're going to see this MACD above zero, which would be monumentally bullish because I want you to go back in time with me, and I want you to take a look at every single time this thing has turned green, okay? When we've been above zero and turned green, large run up. Let's see. Okay, but price data is pretty immature, but you can see the histogram picking up right around here. Massive rise up, okay? So, yeah, this would be monumental to instill some confidence within the market. You can also see I have drawn here a very clear area of price confluence on the RSI for the monthly for total crypto market cap, and that sits at 50. Really want to try to get above 50, all right? We're going to look at 2 other charts. We can take a look at a few others that I had in my head. I actually want to take a look at the stock market, the S&P with you guys real quick, but wow, tongue twister. Feel free to throw your chart questions into the comments, and I can chart anything out you'd like me to take a look at. Crypto related though. This is a crypto channel. Maybe I'd welcome charting a stock. I haven't charted a stock in a very long time. I shouldn't say that. Every now and then I do. But anyway, this is total 2. So total 2 is the entire altcoin market cap. And the easiest way to think about that is it's the entire cryptocurrency market capitalization value charted on a graph. Stripping out Bitcoin's valuation, okay? Now, ignore the green arrow. This was showing on a different time frame. I could probably take that out, actually. The RSI is at a real healthy level. We're at 48. Okay, MACD, it's the same story. We're flattening, beginning to curl up. The stochastic RSI, which I didn't mention on the prior chart, that is positive. We're above our 20 trigger line. That is very bullish on a monthly chart, okay? If we go to actually a 2-week chart, I'm curious because we didn't do this on the last chart. I like looking at the 2-week as well. Yeah, you can see this MACD is getting closer and closer to crossing up. Stochastic's valuation is pretty high, and the RSI is around the same valuation. Again, what we're doing, and I think for most of you, honestly, because hopefully nobody here is a day trader, I think for most of you, what would benefit you if you can read a chart, if you just know the basics, like if you can read a chart and you have a TradingView account, I think looking at like a weekly, 2-weekly, and monthly chart is honestly for most projects is your best bet. If you're a little bit more seasoned or if you've taken professional classes, obviously you can go outside of that. But I think when you become a little bit more well-versed, maybe go down to a 3-day or a daily chart. But I think for most of you that are in this space and really don't know a lot about technical analysis and can't really read charts well, I think a weekly, a 2-week, and a monthly chart are a great starting point for you to have a high level appreciation for what's going on in the market. So here, let's just assess price action. It's the same sort of story as what we were saying here, except our key area of resistance is a little higher up. We're looking, let's just call it 700. It's a zone, but it's 700 billion. So ideally, when you see the altcoin market capitalization get up above 700, and that's when you should start to feel really bullish with a monthly candle close, because now we're starting to negate these lower highs, right? Next area would be up here, then we're negating this lower high. So it's all about consistently moving up with these stair steps, higher highs, higher lows. The thing that's going to drive this, okay? The thing that's going to drive this isn't rocket science, okay? What's going to drive the altcoin total market cap chart, the total 2? I mean, intuitively, what would you think is going to drive that chart? It's the altcoins with the higher market capitalization, right? That are ultimately going to have the most profound impact on that chart. We need Ethereum to do extremely well, and I think it's setting up for a massive move up. We need XRP to do well. We need Binance to do well. We need Cardano, Doge, Polygon, Solana, Polkadot, even Litecoin, okay? Tron. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, if some of these projects you don't like, you don't understand, or you don't appreciate, if you appreciate the space, you want to see it succeed, and you value your portfolio going up in value, then you want these top alt projects to perform extremely well. Okay, yes, some of these middle tiers and lower tiers in the top 100, yes, they're going to play into this chart, but not as much as the top 10. We really need those top 10 to 15 performers to do extremely well. Okay, that's going to bode well for total 2 chart. Total 3, let's take a quick look at total 3. I'll get to some of your questions and comments here that I see coming in. Total 3, it's really the same story. The RSI, again, the way it typically works is, it's the easiest way to think of it, okay? Bitcoin's going to have its run. Some of the money is going to flood into like Ethereum instead of your larger projects. They're going to run. They're going to do really well. The money's going to bleed out of there, and it's going to continue to flow down the chain into your smaller micro caps, okay? That's why when we go down the line here, and now that we look at a total 3 is stripping out Ethereum now. So you got Bitcoin and Ethereum stripped out, everything else. It's lagging a little bit, just a little bit. Still a bullish setup. We've broken out of this really, this is a falling wedge as well. You could draw this as a falling wedge. I mean, you could draw the same damn, just about, basically, yeah, falling wedge. But regardless, we broke out of the downwards resistance by that blue line. We broke out. We've back tested the green area of support, and now we have to break up around this 427 to 471. Let's just call it 430 to 470 billion market cap, okay? But as far as being a little behind, it's a little behind on price action. Even the RSI, look, the RSI is at 46, whereas the others were at 40, 48, 49, okay? MACD's looking great. Starting to round out, and the stochastic RSI looks healthy. We're at 22.72 over 18, okay? So we have a positive cross, and we're above the trigger line, which is very good to see. So we just have to remain patient here, but I don't have another area of resistance drawn here. I should. Let me draw this out because I think this is going to be coming into play very soon. Yeah, so, there's another area of resistance right around, we're going to call it, I like using, fuck that, I'll do that later. Another area right around 617, 620. I would also say there's another area of monthly resistance right around there at 840 billion. So, again, it's the same story for this chart as it is for other stories. I would love to see this month close up in this area, and that sets up May to get up into this area. Now, if this doesn't happen exactly like I'm saying, does that mean it puts into jeopardy the all-time highs this year? No, that's not what I'm saying, but that's what I would like to see. Again, look how quickly price action developed here. All right, if we theoretically, you want to have a little bit of fun, right? History does not repeat, as they say, but it often rhymes. Boy, isn't that funny. You could say that about a lot of things in life. No comment. So, if we had, these are monthly candles, okay. So if we had sort of a similar breakout after consolidation, let's say right around there, you can see how high that's putting us out until October, right? So, again, am I saying it's going to follow this exact pattern? No. Why am I showing you this? What's up, YC? Why am I showing you this? Because we had a similar real large move that took people by surprise from November of 2020 all the way up until June. Excuse me, May. I thought it was May. May of 2021, right? So it was really like 7 months. 7 months, right? So hypothetically, if we had another 7, 8, 9, 10 month run here, okay, this is essentially what it would look like. Now, actually, that's a good talking point, and then I'll get to your questions and comments here. What could we expect this year in terms of timing, right? So what is my, and I want to take a closer look at this. But the market matures. It's not always going to behave in the exact same manner, but all we can use is past history, like I said, to sort of make inferences on what we can anticipate moving forward. Let's hypothetically say that Bitcoin tops on, let's throw out a date. Let's have fun. All right. So Bitcoin has its blow off top. It goes relatively according to plan. It really does create a new all-time high this year, whatever that is, and it tops like October 24th. Okay. So October 24th, it tops. You could anticipate that a month out, 2 months, so going into the end of November, going into by the end of December, mid-December, that month and a half to 2 months out is when you're going to see the rest of all the other altcoins topping out, okay? So there's essentially a lag because of the reason that I explained before. There's money that bleeds off from those bigger projects, Bitcoin and the bigger alts, into your smaller tokens, like your artificial liquid intelligence, your Harmony Ones, even your H-bars, and your Mana, your Decentraland Mana, okay? They bleed off into those projects. So that's sort of what I would anticipate in terms of how the market will play out, roughly speaking. Now, I do want to chart the S&P, but before I do that, I want to see if there's any questions here. If you're taking stock charts, Mara is one I'm in right now. What the hell? We'll chart a stock. We'll chart a stock. Why not? I haven't really done one in a while. I don't want to really open up the channel in general to start doing stocks. I want to keep it crypto, but for today, like, what the fuck? Let's do a stock and have fun with it. So we'll take a look. Let me see here. Mara, it's a blockchain stock, so basically crypto. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll take a look. I'm more of an H1, H4, 1D truck. Okay. Yeah. And so to look at the 1 hour, 4 hour, I'm not really sure why you put H1, H4. I would have put 1H and 4H. That's interesting. But anyway, so if you're looking at a 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily, that tells me that you must be a well-versed person with the charts who feels comfortable taking some shorter term swing plays as well, probably. So, I mean, power to you. If you're successful at it, then continue doing what you're doing. Are there any reasons you see a blow-off top in June or July prior to the CBDC launch? So from a narrative standpoint. Okay, so this is a good question. I'm glad you're asking this question, actually. Now, the video, okay, I'm sorry, I want to, shilling the video here to you right now. This video that I want to have out by next week, we are going to talk about CBDCs. And yes, this is Jamie Dimon, and yes, this is Satan, all in one photo. I'm excited to talk about that stuff because I can go off on a tangent, so I got to collect all my thoughts. But so this is a very good question. The question YC is asking is, I sort of put out a educated guess on sort of a zone of time we could expect for Bitcoin to have its blow off top, and I'm pretty sure that pointed to like September, October, maybe even November timeframe, like more like September, October. And so, could something different happen is what he's saying by June or July prior to the central bank digital control, central bank digital currency launch. No, I don't. Because remember, the premise of this stream is everything is all in the charts. So whatever the narrative is, the narrative can catch up to the charts, the narrative can be lagging the charts, whatever the case is, but everything is baked into the chart. So I do not find it likely that we are going to have some blow off top by June or July. That is too soon. Because I almost said Brian. Sorry about that. YC, think about what you're saying. Let's go to a monthly chart. What you're saying is for something roughly to occur like this. And I want you to ask yourself if you really think this is reasonable to assume that this would happen, right? We want to be logical on this channel. April, May, June, July. Let's say it extends to July. You would want to see something like that. So you think Bitcoin might wick down to 24. In April, it closes up to like 37. In May, we have a big bullish month. We go from 32 all the way up to 57. And then we have another bullish month and we go from 55 up to 86. And then we have another bullish month and we go from 65. It's just too condensed a time period. Now, I understand we have to enter a parabola, but I also want to be realistic in terms of time frames. I couldn't, anything is possible. I'm not going to say it isn't a possibility, but I think the more likely thing is we have a blow off closer to the fourth quarter. So if anything, it would be towards if we did have a blow off top in the third quarter, I would push for it more being towards September. Keep in mind what we do want as investors. When it moves, it moves. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But the narrative isn't going to change my opinion on the chart. The chart's going to dictate if I need to reassess my view of things. Everything that's playing on the chart. Narrative is whatever the narrative is, okay? It's interesting. It's good to be informed. We're going to talk about fundamentals, but the chart ultimately is how I'm making my own personal investment decisions, okay? There was something else I was going to say there. Oh, as investors, okay, this is the last point I want to hit on with this good question here. As investors, what we want is we want the market to enter that parabolic move later. Right now, we want the foundation for a bull narrative, okay? We want slowly to build these higher highs and then enter a euphoric stage. Now, why do I say that? Because let's just say theoretically we got euphoric right now and we entered a parabola, it'll be short-lived. Maybe we never create a new all-time high. Maybe we triple top, essentially, and come down. We don't want to enter that parabola too soon. We really want some nice, healthy, bullish momentum to pick up in the market, to sustain itself. And then when things really start to get exciting and the volcano is gonna fucking burst, price is already at 50,000, okay? It's not at 28 or 27, all right? It's already at like 50,000 and things are really starting to heat up. Then we can have that sharp parabola up and Bitcoin shoots up to 120, okay? That's what we want as investors, because that will lead to ultimately, if you followed what I'm saying, it'll lead to a greater level of price appreciation in Bitcoin, which will also in turn mean a greater price appreciation in the overall market. There's more value in the market that can go downstream to the other assets, and there's a higher degree of confidence and euphoria that things are just going so high, and so people are putting a lot of money into the market. That's really what you want. Very good question, Brian. What are you going to be looking for in terms of top signals for the cycle outside of just price? So you've kind of beaten me to something that I do want to do. I would like to dedicate a video to things I will be watching for to tell me that things are getting way too toppy and you should consider taking some capital off the table. And again, never financial advice on this channel, but I'm at least going to share with you things I will be looking at to make sure that I'm remaining level-headed, because at the end of the day, our goal on this channel should be similar in nature. It should be similar in nature. We want to maximize the potential on investment opportunity in this market. Yes, we're excited about technologies. I'm excited about hash graph technology. I'm excited about all of the fundamental things going on in the market. But at the end of the day, my skin is in the game. You know, I have, for me, what is a significant amount of capital invested in this market. And so I want to see that significant amount of capital be maximized and turn into a monumental amount of capital, okay? So that is our goal at the end of the day. So it is very important, per Brian's comment here, that we understand the things we should be looking at to stay level-headed, robotic, unemotional, and to know when to scale out of your investment. So we will get into that. I'm going to dedicate a video to that. So thank you for the question. Credible Crypto suggested Q2, Q3. I'm not sure about that. I know that his view in terms of expectations for this year is similar to me in terms of hitting that fifth wave this year. That much I do know. I don't know price levels that he's looking at. Very valued TA guy, really nice guy. Really appreciate his content. I wasn't aware that he was targeting Q2, Q3. That's news to me. I'll have to go back to his page and see if that's true or not, YC, but I appreciate you pointing that out. Okay, Q2, Q3. Q2, I just don't, if Bitcoin's really going to get up to that 110 to 140 range, I just don't see how that's going to happen in 3 months. How is that realistically? I mean, think about that. How are we going to go from 28,000 to 110 to 140,000 in two and 2/3 months? That's not a lot of time. It's 10 weeks, 11 weeks maybe. It's not enough time. So we'll have to see. But appreciate the comment there. I'll have to check out his content. But yeah, no need to apologize. I know we are similarly aligned in terms of our expectations. Thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. I know it's kind of like sideways in the market. It's not very exciting right now. But during these times where it's not very enthusiastic, I still think it's very important for us to stay grounded in terms of what is going on in the market. Now, I did have a question come in. Typically, I don't do this, and I don't want to set up this channel to do such consistently. But it's Friday. What the hell? There's not a lot of TA questions. So I'm going to take this question, and then I'll take one more if there is one. So was it Brian? Yes, Brian. Brian asked a question on a stock, actually. So we're going to take a look at it. He says it's blockchain related. So we'll take a look at it. You know, why not? So the ticker symbol is MARA, Mara. This is on NASDAQ, Marathon Holdings. Okay, we have a decent amount of, wow, significant amount of price data here. I might actually take a look at the 2-week on this. Kind of condense things. So this is a 2-week chart. Okay, MACD still has a long way to go to get up to this trigger line right there. Okay, that's our trigger line, 0. We need it to get positive. But you can see on the histogram here, bullish momentum is picking up. The RSI is at 45, neutral level. Stochastic RSI, very healthy, 81 over 66. Let's take a look at price action. Price action is key. So now this is a 2-week chart. I want to consolidate price action. There's a lot of price data here. Okay, first thing I'm looking at, a couple different ways to draw this. I'll draw it the way I'll draw from here. No, I guess that doesn't make sense. Should probably do that. Couple different ways to draw this. So you can see there's a descending resistance here that we've touched and we've now broken above. There's also another descending resistance that I personally would draw to see if we've broken above it. Okay, so this is bullish because now I would be drawing two descending areas of resistance. You see how I drew that? So okay, so from the top here, you can see this resistance. I drew into all of this gobbledygook here. And you can see based on that, now that's the black line. You can see we sort of broke and rode it for a little bit, and now we've broken out above it. So that's great to see. Now, the other thing that's really good to see on this chart is the other area of resistance I drew. I can't stand this pink line. I don't know why the hell. Oh, it's for the 200 simple moving average. Let's make it fucking blue. All right. You can see from this line right here, resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke out above it and we back tested as support. So we've broken two downward lines of resistance. Very bullish to see. Very good to see. Now, the next thing we should be asking ourselves is step one is what areas of support do we want to hold? And step two is what areas of resistance do we need to battle? Now, there is a clear area of support right about, that's too obvious. $5.30. We really want, what I would want to watch for on this chart ultimately for the most amount of strength is for both of these descending areas of resistance here to hold. So you can chart those out on your chart on the 2-week. But the other key area is $5.31. I don't want this thing going from $8 to below $5.30, okay? Now again, and I don't know the market cap of this, I'm going to guess it's small. But yes, we can wick down here. I could give two shits less if we wick here. But I want the candle body to be above 531. All right, that is a must for me looking at this chart. Okay, now let's draw out some areas of support, or excuse me, resistance. Where are we going to run into some problems? Okay, trying to get above it. All right, a lot of struggles in life. You're going to run into problems. You gotta fucking knock those problems out. Yeah, knock those problems out. All right. This is an area, again, the important thing that I want to convey on this channel, the best thing you can do for yourself is to not get caught up on if I'm charting this at $8.99 and you have it drawn at $9.03. There are zones of resistance and zones of support. And those zones, okay, the zones, they get wider, okay? They get wider relative to how much volatility exists within the asset that you're charting. So the smaller the market cap, the greater the volatility, the greater the price range, okay? The higher the market cap, the lower the volatility, then you can start getting more exact with your price targets. I'm sure this is a small market cap. It's around $9, right? We need to get above $9. Now, what's the next obvious area? Well, look, we had this swing, this ride up here that created this lower high around $18. So the first step is to remain above with candle bodies about $5.31. Let's get above 9. Let's stay above 9. Let's get at 18 and let's eat up 18 and stay above it. Once we're above 18, and this is really a zone here. Once we're above 18, we'll run into it. Yeah, that's not surprising. It's like 21, $20. Probably make it $20. Right about there. Yeah. So you're going to have an area of resistance really between... Oh, that's my Instacart order. I hear the person knocking. Well, they can leave it at the door. It's all good. Anywho. You ever use Instacart? I use Instacart. I don't want to yell now. They'll hear me. But whatever the case is, leave the shit at the door. I have it says leave at the door. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. So anywho, on this chart, what we want to watch for is $9 to break. Once $9 breaks, we're going to have a zone between 18 and 21. Okay, 18 and 21. So, Brian, I want you to come back with a question on this chart. I promise I'll rechart it for you once we're above 18 to 21. Once we get a candle body close. Don't give me, I want the candle body to close. Don't give me an active candle that's up here. I want the candle body close to be up in this area, all right? Once it's above the 18 to 21, let's come back to the chart. Let's reassess. Things should be looking pretty damn good, and we can reassess what to watch for next. I hope that was helpful. Fun Good Friday question. This is from Josh. Fun, okay, all right. A fun Good Friday question. You do know this is a religious holiday, right? And this is actually, if you do practice Christianity and Protestant beliefs, whether you're Christian or Catholic, it's actually a really sad day. So let's see here. Fun Good Friday question. Say you had an eccentric grandfather pass away and leaves you $125,000. Okay, this is hypothetical, Josh, or are we talking real life right now? Say you had an eccentric grandfather pass away and leaves you $125,000 that can only be spent on your dream car. All or nothing. One car only, up to $125,000. What do you choose? Boy, $125,000. All right, so I'm going to go on the premise that I can't put my own money towards it, because if I already got 125 and I'm going balls to the wall, I might throw like another 80 to 100 grand at it and just go for $2.25 million. I mean, why the fuck not? There's a few cars that I can think of. So, I mean, I've had my eye on a Corvette for a long time now, and no, if you knew who I was as a person, personality-wise, it's hard for me to pull the trigger on a serious buy. Thankfully, I could easily afford a Corvette if I wanted to go out and get one. I just have never pulled the trigger. So, Corvette is on the list. There's a Corvette. I would get perhaps a Porsche 911. I've seen those Lotus cars. Those Lotus cars look pretty exotic. They're pretty sweet looking. I think the price tag on those, I could get a pre-owned one for $125. So Lotus, a Porsche 911, Corvette, and I'm talking Corvette. I'm talking the C7, I think it is, C7 or C8, the 2019 version before they changed up the styling. Actually, I think that's the one I lean towards. So that or loss of words. What else? I think that's the current basket that I would be holding. Because the 125 isn't enough to go up to like a Lambo or something like that, or like a Ferrari. Obviously, it's not enough money, unfortunately. So yeah, that would be. What would you go with, Josh? Actually, what would you go with? I'm drawing a blank on what else I would go with. I think I've been looking at the Corvette so much. It's like I keep toying with the idea. You know what I do? I toy with the idea, and I'm like, I'd love to get this car. This has been my new dream car for like the past, I don't know, it's 2023. I've been thinking about this car for like 6 years. So 7 years? I don't know. But the thing is, then I'm what you call practical, right? So I look at the 01 Integra. That 01 Integra, I love the way it drives. And I'm like, I don't need a car. Why the hell am I going to go out and blow $80,000 on a car with the car insurance? Your tire blows out. You got to spend $1,200 on a tire. Why am I doing this to myself? Like, why? What's the point? So a Ferrari F430 would be perfect fit, but Porsche would be solid as well. And a Ferrari F430. I bet you I know what it is. I just don't know the model by heart. Ferrari F430. Let me see if I can pull this up for you guys. A Ferrari F430. Okay. Here, I'll show you guys. Doug, you guys ever watch Doug? This guy, Doug DeMuro or whatever. I forget the name of his channel, but he does a really cool car channel. But this is a nice looking car. This wasn't the version of the Ferrari I was thinking of, and I don't know what version I was thinking of, but I have a thing. I tend to have a thing for, I guess, what you could call older cars now. I like a lot of models that came out in the 80s and 90s, actually. Not much before then. I'm not like a classic car sort of guy. Like I can appreciate them, but I like the 80s and the 90s. Like, if we went back to some Ferraris or Lambos from then, I'm sure I could. There's one in particular, a Ferrari. There's one Ferrari from like the early 90s, late 80s, and I can't think of the model, but I really like that one. Anyway, that's what I would do with 125,000. If there are no other questions, I am going to go grab my Instacart order before all of my vegetables go bad, because that's what CBG eats, lots of vegetables and healthy things, not potato chips. No, never potato chips. Never truffle fries. No, never. Never chicken wings. No, I never touch that stuff. All right. I hope everybody has a good weekend. If you're celebrating Easter, happy Easter. I hope you have some time with your family. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you making time for this channel. I will be back every single day next week. I am going to be looking. I will do my best. I will do my best to get this video out next week. If it's not next week, it'll be the following week. But I will do my best to get this video out next week. I'm excited to kind of put my thoughts into words and share with you guys, honestly, a lot of different thoughts that I have about kind of a lot of things going on right now, where they stem from, where things I think are going. Appreciate you as well, YC, the support. So hope to get that video out soon. But everybody, please take care. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Show some support. Click the bell icon for notifications to know when I go live. And have a great weekend. Spread awareness and carry the education forward as always, guys.